Postol. It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Alright, so this is another video in the aftermath of Crawford Spence, and this is something that I really want to get off my chest because, you know, for me, I feel like when I talk boxing with a lot of people here, I can't really do it because a lot of boxing fans don't think how I think. And not even just that, I just think most boxing fans, I think the way most boxing fans on YouTube consume the sport is trash. I think the way in which they consume and perceive things is trash. And a lot of times when we talk about potential fights, guys fighting each other, we always hear the resume talk. Oh, well, who has he fought? Oh, and then when you start throwing out guys who are actually good fighters, they say, oh, well, him, he's not that good. Who would he be? Who is he, right? But these are guys that were, Olympians, guys that became champions. And I'm just not, for me, as someone who really respects fighters and loves the sport on a deep and profound level, I don't like downplaying fighters. I don't like the whole who you fought thing. Because at the end of the day, you could fight whoever you want, but you can't bring your resume in the ring to win you the fight. You can bring the experience from those fights into the ring, but just because you beat X amount of world champions or ex-world champions and Olympians, it doesn't mean you'll beat a guy who has a lesser resume than you just because of that. Styles make fights. That's where sayings like styles make fights come from, So I'm saying that to say, a lot of you Errol Spence fans over the years, and I heard it all. I heard you guys downplaying Crawford's resume. I heard you guys downplaying some good fighters, Viktor Postol. Viktor the Iceman Postol. Y'all wanted to downplay my boy Viktor Postol, but guess what? He was the last man to take Terence Crawford the distance, and that was way back when in 2016. That was back during the Barack Obama administration. We've had a couple different presidents since then. So, different time, long time ago, Viktor Postol, champion, knocked out Lucas Matisse. I thought he beat Jose Ramirez, should have been champion again. But Viktor Postol, a worthy, formidable challenger. Great win for Crawford. A lot of you guys disrespected my man from Scotland, Ricky Burns. You said, oh, Ricky Burns is trash. Ricky Burns is what is he, 3-division champion? Ricky Burns was the man in the division, So you have that. You guys disrespected my man, the Blue Machine, Juluis Indongo. Now, I know Juluis Indongo has been getting beaten up by every Tom, Dick, and Harry since he lost to Crawford. He's been beaten up by Regis Prograis and domestic level British fighters and all that and this, that, and the third. But before he fought Crawford, you got to understand who Indongo was. Indongo was a guy that didn't have a lot of money behind him, had to go into hostile territory, into countries that didn't like his ass, like in Russia and Scotland, and beat guys that he wasn't supposed to beat in Troyanovsky and Burns. So was Juluis Indongo a A-level fighter? No, he was not. Absolutely not. But he earned the right to challenge for the undisputed title, and he deserved respect. And a lot of Spence fans downplayed my main man, Juluis Indongo. Now, all these guys I'm mentioning and can mention on Crawford's resume, Felix Diaz, Sean Porter, a drained Kell Brook, who hadn't made 147 in years, anyone you can name, Jeff Horn, all these guys did better than Spence did against Crawford. And I'm not trying to slight Spence. I quite like Spence. And I'm not throwing him under the bus, but this is more so a response and a retort to the Spence fanboys who wanted to get into resume talk. You can't get so fixated on resume talks. I understand fighters need a certain level of experience to deal with a certain level of fighters. That I do agree with. But Terence Crawford wasn't like Spence. Spence had A-level red carpet treatment for him. You gotta remember to really understand the resumes. You gotta understand where both fighters came from and what the positions were when they turned pro. Errol Spence was an Olympian. He had cosigns early in his career from Floyd Mayweather, from sparring him, from giving him a black eye in sparring and stopping Broner in sparring. So PBC did a good job looking after him and taking care of him and getting him the right fights at the right time. Terence Crawford, on the other hand, was a guy that, didn't even make it. He couldn't even become Olympic. I don't even think he was an Olympic alternate. I think he lost in the Olympic trials. He had lost to a couple fighters. And this is a guy that had to fight on the, early preliminary stages of Top Rank shows on Brandon Rios undercards and stuff like that. And people forget that. People don't remember when Terence Crawford was a broke Top Rank fighter with dreads fighting Canadian fighters like Andres Gorgeous Georges and had to really get it out the mud and make a name for himself. And then he had to beat guys like Breeders Prescott, moving up in weight, short notice, you know. And it's easy to say Prescott was nobody now, but back then that was looked at to be a tough fight. Had to go on the road and did it before Spence did. Went to Scotland, beat Ricky Burns, became champion. You know, Crawford, people say, oh, he didn't fight nobody, but the reality is this. Terence Crawford did not have red carpet treatment like Errol Spence did when he came into the pros. Eventually, you know, I think Top Rank gave him some easier matches once he established himself, but he had to get to that position. As to where with Spence, he was fighting guys like Philip Greco making good money in the early PBC days. So my thing is, you know, I'm not trying to downplay Spence or Crawford's resume. I think they're both fantastic fighters, but you guys gotta start being more responsible with how you consume boxing because, you know, same thing happened when Canelo fought Bivol. A lot of people wrote off Bivol. A lot of people didn't give much of a chance. A lot of people said Bivol, you know, who has he fought? Who's Craig Richards? Who is Umar Salimov? Look at who Canelo's fought. But when they fought, didn't mean a damn thing when they fought. So I really hope, and I'm praying, because look, there's nothing wrong with being wrong. I've been wrong plenty of times. There's nothing wrong with being wrong. The important thing is that we continue to get better as fans of the sport. We get better as content creators, and we get better with our boxing IQ because resumes are important. Resumes are important as far as judging who's a Hall of Fame fighter. Resumes are important in terms of gauging what type of experience and what type of styles each fighter has fought. But a resume alone will not get you a win over a fighter. If you have a better resume than a certain fighter, doesn't mean you're going to get a win. You know what I'm saying? So Errol Spence fought all these big names. We try to warn you guys for years that, you know, Mean Machine, y'all downplay Mean Machine. Mean Machine, you know, gave Crawford some great work. Gave him a real tough fight. Probably maybe his toughest fight at welterweight. And y'all wanted to downplay him. But Errol Spence Jr. did worse than him. Y'all wanted to downplay Felix Diaz and Andre Klimov and John Molina Jr. and Jose One-Legged Benavidez Jr. But this should be a learning lesson to respect a lot of fighters. And before you judge a fighter, just because you don't know who they are, take some time to learn their background. Like, Jeff Horn was an Olympian for Australia. He beat 2 former world champions in Ali Funeka and Randall Bailey, albeit they're both old, before he fought Manny Pacquiao. Jose Benavidez was one of the better amateur fighters coming out of this country. He was an amateur phenom, you know, underachieved in the pros, but a very good fighter with a very good amateur background. There's a reason why he took Crawford 12 rounds, you know? So I'm just saying, before you get into like who, you know, start judging guys because you don't know their names, maybe the promoters don't push them down your throat, take some time to really learn where they came from and what they've done and what they've accomplished, and then you can make an assessment. But yeah, I'm just saying this video to say that pretty much Juluis and Indongo and Ricky Burns and Viktor Postol, everyone Crawford fought did better against Crawford than Errol Spence did. And if you hate on that, if you're saying I'm being a hater and you just can't handle the truth, and you know, that's just what it's gonna be. So yeah, leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take your ass. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. We're here at the Hatanaka Boxing Gym in Nagoya, Japan. And for more great videos just like this one, make sure you guys click right here.